So the other day we covered some Easter eggs and secrets in Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire, and I thought today, since you guys seemed to enjoy that last video, we would cover a few more actually. So yeah, there's actually quite a few more of these, and guess what? If you guys enjoyed this one as well, we may even do a part 3. So hey, show some support, hit the like button, let's get to 1,000 likes, and we might even do a part 3, you know, we might. But either way, what are we talking about? Well, we're talking about Pokemon secrets and Easter eggs, so let's get started. So first up, did you know that loads of the sprites in Ruby and Sapphire are actually the same sprites that you see in Gold, Silver, as well as Crystal, but just with some additional minor edits added to their shading. Here are some of those that you can actually see. So we got Farfetch'd, Caterpie, Weedle, as well as Kakuna. Also, there's like some more as well. It's kind of interesting and like a weird little secret, which shows how they could, with just some extra added palettes and colors, make the same exact sprites seem as if it was like brand new and better, but in reality, they were the same. So the only difference is it was just like an addition of extra colors that made these games look slightly different from like their, predecessors, Gold and Silver, as well as Crystal. Next up, in Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire, there is an unused battle theme for the 3 legendary beasts from Johto that suggests that it was planned for them to return after their appearances in Pokemon Gold, Silver, and Crystal. However, they did make a return later on in Fire Red and Leaf Green, so it could have been that there was a plan to maybe have them in Ruby and Sapphire, and perhaps there was a sort of test to put them into like Ruby and Sapphire in preparation for the Fire Red and Leaf Green like remake games, hence why there are remnants of these files left in Ruby and Sapphire. It's kind of a cool little thing, and would have been really cool to actually catch the legendary beasts from Johto in there. I mean, also this could suggest that maybe they were planning to include Johto in like future games as well, like actually including it the same way they did, with Gold, Silver, and Crystal, how they had Kanto, and then maybe they were going to do that going forward with every new generation. But it didn't end up happening because guess what? Ruby and Sapphire became big successes. Next is a pretty cool little reference to another one of Game Freak's video games that was being basically created back in the day, which was the character known as Pulseman, who's the protagonist in one of Game Freak's early Sega Mega Drive games from 1994. The way he's referenced in Ruby and Sapphire though is through the brand new move called Volt Tackle given to Pikachu. See, in Japanese, the name of Volt Tackle is Voltaseer, which is also the same name of one of the attacks used by Pulseman in Game Freak's older 1994 game for him. Kinda cool how they just left in such a random little Easter egg that only those who are like very long-term and long-time fans of Game Freak as a whole might know or even learn about. So it's kind of a cool little reference. I do like it. It's really intriguing. Did you know that there is a fully unused sprite for a member of Team Aqua that exists within the code and internal data of the games of Ruby and Sapphire? Now, this guy looks mostly similar to like a normal Team Aqua grunt. However, he's kind of been flipped in position, and some of the colors on him have gotten like, massive changes and look a little bit darker. Plus, he has a really snazzy and cool mustache, as well as like a red bandana on his arm as well, which is kind of odd, but I wish we got this grunt because he looks cool. Though I can see why they didn't go for this one and scrap this one for maybe looking too similar to like Archie perhaps, because I think like with all mustache and the thing going on there, maybe it was too similar to like the actual guy leading the organization, and they thought, let's just make them a little bit more casual and a little bit younger looking, right? Instead of having the mustache and stuff, making him look really old. So maybe that's the reason they went down that path. I don't really know, but I'm a big fan of this sprite and I wish it was in the game. So this is a really awesome little Easter egg and secret, but within Pokemon Ruby, Sapphire, as well as Pokemon Emerald, there is a man within the Devon Corporation's building that if you speak to him, he will talk to you about entering or even seeing the dreams of Pokemon, which sounds very much like it is totally referencing the future Dream World feature, which was later on introduced in Pokemon's, Generation 5 Pokemon Black and White games and that sort of stuff, right? So already back in 2002 and 2003, they had this ID brewing over at Game Freak, which is bloody awesome in my mind. Just the idea that not the ID itself, but like just the fact that they had this ID brewing and ready to go, even already back then, is just bloody insane. It just makes the whole ID like such a cool thing. It just makes the whole like subject so much cooler to my mind. So I don't know, what do you guys think about it? Now, next is a more technical piece of information and more of a technical secret and Easter egg, but did you know that the Ruby and Sapphire games were the first and pretty much the only Pokemon games to have a frame rate of 60 frames per second? So basically 60 FPS. Which since those games has not been replicated and has always been downgraded to the much worse like 30 FPS within Pokemon games, right? I mean, I'm pretty sure not even Sword and Shield till this day have 60 FPS, but rather only have 30 FPS still, which is kind of sad because imagine the level of smooth gameplay we could have if they implemented 60 FPS across the board going forward for all Pokemon games. But yeah, Ruby and Sapphire were the only ones. Not even Fire Red and Leaf Green even had it. See, after Ruby and Sapphire came out, they actually downgraded it to 30 FPS for Fire Red and Leaf Green as well as Emerald. So they downgraded from something that, I mean, was smooth and great, but maybe it created some technical issues. Don't really know. They haven't really said much about it, but I don't know, maybe that was the case. Next, we have a small little secret and a pretty snazzy little secret that can be found in the Victory Road. See, there is a one-way ledge on B1F, the floor B1F, right, which doesn't allow you to go back if you go like down this ledge. But there is something interesting. See, in the Spanish, Italian, German, as well as the French version of Ruby and Sapphire, one of those tiles, like the top tile on that ledge, is actually removed so that you can move back and forth through it without too much hassle. Now, later on in Emerald, the ledge, it was fully removed, so, you know, to not make it to have to like go back and backtrack and all that stuff, so they just kind of removed it. But yeah, it's kind of a random little fact. It's just totally random, but it is kind of intriguing to say the least. So next up is a really interesting one. So I think majority of you guys out there know what the Missing No glitch is, right? Missing No is like probably one of the most popular like glitches within Pokemon, and also probably one of the most popular and most famous in gaming overall, right? But there is one more that's very similar, right? Like a very similar type of glitch, but within Pokemon Ruby, Sapphire, etc., right? There's actually one there that's very similar to that, and this is the question mark glitch. Now, the question mark glitch, I'm not really sure how it happens, but it does exist in there, and it's a very similar glitch in the sense that it's basically a Pokemon within the game, like it's a part of the code where it just doesn't like really, you know, it's a missing number, right? Like Missing No is just a missing number. It's a number within the, you know, the dex, or like the, I guess the database for the Pokemon that's just kind of missing, right? So if you glitch it well enough, if you pull up the glitch, it will just cause that glitch, you know, to kind of show itself, right? It will just pop up, whereas it shouldn't even be like available within the games to even be called upon from like whenever you're playing the game. So what's happening here is it's a similar case. It's actually a similar case with the question mark. It's a similar situation where it's a glitch that basically just kind of causes this weird situation where, guess what, you glitch out your game, you get a Pokemon that's just a bunch of question marks. It's really odd. They can break your game, and there's also like a bunch of glitches you can do to do this. I think the berry glitch is one of the ways to do this, or like the Pomek glitch, or I'm not really sure what it's called, but there's one of those berry glitches you can do for this to be achievable. I might be wrong about that, but I want to actually do a little bit of a more deep dive into this in the future if you guys want to see that. So let me know in the comment section. Do you guys want to see me do a deep dive into the question mark glitch from Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire? If you want me to do that, I will gladly do that. And that's about it, you know, for this video. Thank you so much for watching. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that is it for today's video. I hope you guys did enjoy it. If you did, then drop a like down below. Check out my previous video. If you've yet to see it, check out my other video, you know, covering specifically the other, you know, Easter eggs and secrets within Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire, etc. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. Have yourselves a great day, and bye bye, ladies and gentlemen.